Hello and welcome to a live pop culture episode on Deprogrammed with Carrie Smith and Mystery Chris. Hello, Mystery Chris. How are you doing?
Hello, Carrie. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Sultry Voice.
Yes.
I just finished pre-recording an interview with Megan Lee from Noob Reviews, and that's going to be out tomorrow, Thursday at 6 o'clock Central. And it was, I love talking to her. I know you got to meet her in person at one of our house concerts, and it was a joy. And she's local, and I'm a little sad because I just learned she's moving out of the great state of Texas, and I'm like, no, we just met up. It feels like a few months ago.
Yeah, she's great. So, yeah, that should be a good interview.
Yeah, and I want her to come back. She said she would love to come back. Aside from the interview, which is going to be out tomorrow, she would come back for a pop culture show.
All
So
right.
yeah, I would love to have her on. So anyway, if you are new here, this is a live show that Mystery Chris and I do on Wednesday nights where we pick a subject in pop culture and we go down the rabbit hole with you guys and explore it. And tonight we are doing an episode about woke advertisements. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight or why we chose this?
So, I'm sure everybody and their mom has heard of what's going on with Bud Light right now with the Dylan Mulvaney stuff and the boycotts and everything. And I thought maybe it's a good time to talk about woke advertising in general. And of course, talk about that, but go into a little bit more depth and talk about some of the ads from the past and the effectiveness of it and the effectiveness of boycotts, if there's an effective, boycott. And also maybe have spend some time talking about some old classic commercials from the past that were very politically incorrect by today's standards. I
I,
spent I don't know how many hours today watching a bunch of woke ads. It was very depressing. So then I started looking up like old beer commercials from like the 80s and 90s. And it's so why can't we go back to that time?
when it was
But we're
just
gonna
fun.
show some of those. So I'm excited. We got some funny stuff, some sad, tragic stuff, of course. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a good time.
We're gonna have a grand old time tonight. We are gonna watch some terrible, depressing, woke lecturing kind of advertisements, but we're gonna have a good laugh at them, and then we're gonna watch some fun stuff and go down memory lane of like, oh, remember when advertisements were just trying to get you to laugh or pay attention, or or maybe, God forbid, tell you about the product. Like, imagine that,
And then try to convert me to being gay in every commercial. Yeah,
right?
good times.
I've got a couple of chats that I started here that I just want to put up for you, Mr. Chris. This is, by the way, I've been getting a lot of comments about. I don't know if you've checked out our YouTube comments lately, but there've been quite a few about how much people love you. And
Oh,
yes, so you have to start reading some of the comments because there's a lot of them in there for you, and they make me
oh.
happy.
Well, I
Uh,
love you people.
Chris is a descendant of the first Black explorer, Mystery Christopher Columbus. Says
Yeah.
Adam Worrell.
Hated engines, just like me.
And Kendra Salder says, "I'd buy something from that voice."
I could sell tampons.
And Robert Lowry, hello, sir. He says, "Mysterious Chrisarius." That's a good nickname. And then Kevin Anderson, hello, Kevin. I just got to see Kevin at our house concert, which was a lot of fun. Good to see you, Kevin. He says, "I just heard Target is backpedaling fast."
Yeah, I pulled an article on that.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's get into it. Where should we start? Should we start
Uh,
with, in case people haven't seen it?
s- yeah, let's start with the Bud Light stuff, and then we'll get to other stuff. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people already have, but let's just quickly go over that, and then we can talk about Target. So,
Should we start with a Bud Light update?
yeah, pull that.
Okay.
So this is an article. I think it came out yesterday, and this gives some an update on what's going on with Bud Light. Things just keep getting worse.
So for those who don't know, Bud Light hired I mean, and we've talked about this briefly before, and obviously it's been discussed on lots of shows, but Bud Light hired Dylan Mulvaney, who is a influencer, and who is trans, male to female, and I just want to point out my biggest beef with Dylan Mulvaney is that he's an authoritarian who has said on the record that it should be illegal to misgender him, and I don't have anything
No.
for people like that because they're basically saying they think men with guns should come to your house and, either force you to pay a fine or imprison you for saying he instead of she, and so for people like that, I won't use any preferred pronoun. I don't, 'cause you think men with guns should put us in jail. So, like, no respect are given because no respect is earned. So that's Dylan Mulvaney, and, anyway, Bud Light thought it would be great to put him in some ads, and
Did it go so well?
it didn't, let's just say it didn't go so well. So here, let's look at the update. This is from Yahoo Finance. Bud Light sales continue to go flat. What do you want me to highlight on here?
So if you scroll down, let's see here. I think it's underneath. Here's a graphic showing the sales decline. And I like that they chose the LGBT colors.
Let's look at this decline. How many billions of dollars we've lost, but in rainbow.
Womp womp. And one of the things I think is interesting about this is that according to this chart, it shows that some of the other products of Anheuser-Busch have dipped as well. Michelob Ultra, Busch Light, Natty Light. And so I know there's been a lot of talk online of some people think that the woke stuff, the woke marketing is all about generating brand awareness, and that ultimately, sales are going to increase after the controversy subsides. And I think some marketers who've done the woke stuff were planning that, and I think maybe in some cases sales didn't dip, or if they did dip, they went back to where they were prior to the woke stuff. But with this Anheuser-Busch Bud Light stuff, it just seems different. Like, this is going on way longer than I certainly thought, and the sales have gone lower than I thought, and it's affecting a lot of their products because they own a lot. And a lot of people think like, oh, well, these people own a bunch of different beer brands, and they're hoping that Hershey will drive people to drink other beers that they happen to own so they can boost the sales of their other products. But as we're seeing with this chart, that's not quite the case, at least with these beers. I know they own several others.
Look at the rainbow bar graph there of Bud Light just through each week. It's like you said, I think some people were thinking, oh, the boycott won't have much of an impact or it'll blow over. It's like doing pretty bad, worse, and then it just keeps getting worse. According to this anyway, it doesn't seem to be subsiding. And anecdotally, I don't know about you, but I've just been checking out the beer aisle at the grocery store now just to see. And I don't have anything to compare it to because I don't often check out the beer aisle because I don't drink anymore. But the local HEBs near me, it's like a ton of Bud Light on the shelf. And on the weekends, everything else seems picked clean.
Mm. Yeah. Did you see there was an article this weekend talking about how Bud or Anheuser-Busch was buying up the, I guess, remaining beer from wholesalers, like that wasn't being sold, and so everything's buy these cases of beer back.
Oh no, I had not heard that.
Yeah, I should have pulled that article. But
Hey, quick
so-
question. Someone in the chat saying my volume is low. Does it sound that way to everyone else? Can we just do how's it sound? Here, how about this? Is this better? Tell me what you think. If that's too loud, we'll see how that works. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, if you scroll down, I think there was a paragraph, if I remember correctly, underneath here. So, yeah, so keep on scrolling. As I mentioned earlier, talking about the decline, you can see they spell out the percent decline for
Can I read
your.
this part?
Yeah, read that.
Nielsen's data for the week ending May 13th showed a 6.8% decline in the volume of Michelob Ultra, a 14.9% decrease in Budweiser, and an 8.5% fall in Natural Light. Wow.
And there was a paragraph in this article that talked about, or maybe it was above that. But anyway, there was a paragraph that talked about how the woman whose idea this was apparently quit.
She went on a leave of absence.
Oh.
Yeah. Alyssa Heinerscheid. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she's the person whose brainchild, she was the brainchild of this Dylan Mulvaney thing. And here, let's see if we can pull up something with her.
I hope she's drinking Bud Light right now, sitting at home crying.
Have you actually seen the video of her?
I think so. Did we show a clip? I can't remember or not, but I think I saw one video of her and her crazy ideas.
Yeah, we watched part of this video maybe already on another show, but I want to play it again because it's relevant. So here, I gotta escape full screen. Let me take this article down. So for anybody who's not familiar, this is the woman who decided, we need to target women and LGBT plus, trans, and the woke. Essentially, the woke, though, is who they're trying to target. And so she did an interview in which you guys tell me what you think, but it looks to me like she insults all of Bud Light's existing audience or customers. Here.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like, we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. Mm-hmm. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch.
Oh, no.
And it was really important that we had another approach.
Yeah.
I
need to put a warning before that. Oh.
That's not good lighting.
That's not good anything.
Right. That wasn't like that's not like the Instagrammable photos that Dylan does where everything is airbrushed. And
talk about bitter beer face. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's been put on a leave of absence.
Oh.
Yeah. And yeah, but this is the woke trend, is they hire people for whom ideology is more important than knowing anything about the brand, appreciating the customers, even drinking the product. You made a joke that you hope she's home alone drinking Bud Light and thinking about where she went wrong. I don't think she drinks Bud Light. I think they hired someone who doesn't even like their product. You know what I mean? She just said, it's like frat culture, and we need to make it more inclusive. And that's what she came to do. And here are the consequences. So
it's amazing that we're here where so many people are promoted to positions when they don't understand the popularity of their products and the true values of their product. It's just amazing because it's not just this, obviously. I mean, there's so many products. I mean, we've talked about, movies and TV stuff, and me being a Star Trek fan, I'm constantly thinking about how many people have been elevated to positions working on Star Trek, and or CBS's, production departments that don't understand the appeal of one of the longest, most popular products that CBS and Paramount have had. That just boggles my mind. Like,
it's not, hear this, because I know a lot of the woke, they don't understand. It's like, look, it's not that you put a trans influencer in an ad campaign. By the way, somebody in the chat, this is a good moment to bring this up. Scott Miller, I actually agree with you. Scott Miller says Dylan Mulvaney isn't trans. He's a flamboyantly gay guy doing a second-rate Audrey Hepburn impression. Yes. I don't actually, I think he's one of there's a lot of people who are getting lumped in as trans now, and there are people who are riding this money train, and there are people who are the fetishists who are saying they're trans now. And, there's a lot of people who suddenly have gender dysphoria. And I think a lot of the people who genuinely have struggled with gender dysphoria since they were toddlers are finding it insulting to all be lumped together. But anyway, that aside, the issue is not that a trans person is in an advertisement. It's that trans people historically have made up less than 1% of the population, less than 1%. It is a mental disorder, gender dysphoria, in which you feel it's not normal to feel like you are trapped in the wrong body and you need some kind of surgery to cut your breasts off, your genitals off. It's not normal. It doesn't mean people should treat you badly, or people should not want to hang out with you or be your friend or something. It just means that's not something you would wish upon a person to have that. Just like you wouldn't wish any kind of mental disorder or discomfort on a person. And what's happened in the past 10 years is we went from saying, hey, like, don't bully trans people with gender dysphoria, don't treat them like crap. Okay. Which is fine. We went from saying that to saying, hey, gender dysphoria is totally normal. Kids, do you have it? Like, it's totally, you could be born with it or without it. If you're born with it, it's totally cool. It's normal. Let's cut your boobs off. Like, that's what people are upset about. And historically, it's been less than 1% of people who dealt with this. And now they're in they're putting trans people in how many, like maybe 80% of ads. I'm just ballparking a number.
Well, no, we've talked about this before, but based on the GLAD report, they used, I think it was the Williams Institute stats, and according to that, which they didn't mention in their actual report, but according to that, LGBTQ people make up like 5% of the population. But yet GLAD is constantly calling for more than twice that amount of representation in movies and television. Yes. But they never mention that it's an overrepresentation. Whenever there's an underrepresentation of some group, like Latino women in TV and films, they always mention that and compare it to the national stats of the overall population of that group. But when it's overrepresentation, they just don't mention that and just keep saying more needs to be done. And they actually called in the report before this last one that there needs to be 25% LGBTQ representation,
which is an overrepresentation.
Yes.
And they do the same thing for race. Yeah. We've looked at some similar articles before, you and I, where they're like, only, what was the thing I just looked at? I think it was Miller Lite. We'll have to pull that video up. But it was Myth Inform had shared a video where they were talking about how they still have too many white men working for them. And they were like, it's not 50% Black people yet. And like, well, the population is, you're pushing for an overrepresentation.
Yeah. And they never stop to ask, like, maybe a lot of Black people don't want to work in this particular field, this particular industry. Just like sports, most Black kids aspire to be sports stars, want to play football and basketball and not Major League Baseball. Yes. Or soccer or music. Most Blacks who produce music or make music, whatever, want to produce rap music or gospel music, jazz, R&B, and not country music or heavy metal or Tejano. It's just like, you just can't, they don't factor in cultural influences on the decisions of individuals. And it's just so infuriating.
They only do it in one direction, though.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, until the cows come home, there are not enough women in STEM, but they'll never say there are not enough women building the roads,
not enough female sanitation workers.
Yeah. the garbage truck guy.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. Here, let me pull this up.
And it's so frustrating doing research on this too. Just how many web pages and articles that didn't address any of these points, that just keep labeling as right-wing extremists or are reacting against, LGBTQ woke stuff. And it's just like, I mean, I'm not surprised by it, but it's still just frustrating, just constantly seeing that article after article after article after article.
They don't understand. And here's the issue. It's, as I mentioned, it's that there's an overrepresentation. So people are sick of it. It's like trans people have historically made up less than 1% of the population. And suddenly we're seeing record numbers. I mean, a vast overrepresentation of trans people in media. That's when people start to feel like, why is this being pushed in my face? This is more than, this isn't inclusion. This is propaganda. So that's one reason. Another reason is people said in the chat, here, I'll bring up some of your own words. Wicked Psyched has an excellent point. They didn't even write a commercial that had anything to do with the product. That's another reason people are getting sick. And it's not just because of the Dylan Mulvaney ad. It's a bunch of the woke advertisements, as we're going to look at. They don't even talk about the product anymore. You're watching some woke infomercial that's selling ideology. And at the end, you're like, what was this for? Was that razors? What's the product? Because they're selling you a belief system.
But it doesn't even make sense because everybody's doing that. And so no one particular commercial really rises above the rest if they're all, advertising the same stuff, which has nothing to do with the products. It's just taking some buzzwords like Black Lives Matter or, pride or whatever, and just like throwing them all in the blender and making some kind of commercial. So I'm like, it comes across as very lazy, really. And obviously why you have a lot of people who have no talent who are getting into those positions because they're not good at what they do.
They're not good at what they do. They're just good at pushing the ideology. Okay, so let's watch. So we didn't show the Bud Light thing with Dylan Mulvaney because I'm pretty sure people have had enough time to see it by now. But this one just came out. The ad didn't just come out, but people just started paying attention to it in the past week or two. And Myth Informed, I have to give it up for these guys. I love these guys. They're the ones who brought attention to this Miller Lite advertisement that kind of got buried at the same time. It came out around the same time as the Dylan Mulvaney one. Have you seen this one yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's watch it. Because so now we're about to get lectured about feminism.
From the Broad City chick, yeah.
From the Broad City chick who herself, it should be pointed out, has appeared in bikinis numerous times in entertainment. I'll just say that because that's relevant to the new Miller Lite ad. Here we go.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their
By the way, I was on Toxic Femme the other night with Nina Infinity and a bunch of ladies on Midnight's Edge. We talked about this ad and everyone was kind of pointing out, look at the way they blurred all the women's faces. Why do you think they're doing that? Because I kind of think they're doing it to say these women shouldn't be proud of the work they've done, or they have something to be ashamed of, or they're trying to reduce them to just bodies or something.
Yeah, I didn't notice that first time I saw that they blurred those faces, but yeah, I guess they're saying that it's unimportant and that, they're reduced to just their bodies. And so.
And they're literally calling all of these models, all of these ad campaigns, they're calling it bad shit. That's what this ad is. Bad shit versus good shit. They're calling all of their previous advertising bad shit. Excuse me. The premise here is they want you to send in any of their old advertisements you have with pictures of girls in bikinis and stuff so they can compost it and destroy it. And they're about to run some of these girls' images through a paper shredder.
the whole beer industry's shit. Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this shit and buying it back so that he can turn it into good shit for women brewers. Literally, good shit. How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad shit into compost. Then we feed compost to worms, push out beautiful fertilizer. That good shit helps farmers grow quality hops,
which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good shit.
But there's definitely more shit out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any shit you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good shit too. Oh. So here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
I hate this edgy marketing too. You notice there's been an uptick of that. There's I don't know, 1 in 4 male grooming where it's like they're like, shave your balls with our new product. I'm like, trying
Yeah,
too
just
hard
crass, right?
Yes.
I'm so thank you, because that's a separate issue, but I'm just sick of it's so boring and it's so old. I just feel like it's so outdated. There's nothing edgy about being crass
It's
anymore.
trying so hard.
It's trying so hard, and it's just it causes me to lose respect when it's coming
For women?
from
Yes, I agree.
for women, yes, but also no, but from people who like the office of the president. You know, when you pointed out to me that Biden did that interview with WAP, what's her name?
Cardi B.
And I'm like, wow, way to disgrace the office of the president. Not that it matters much anymore, I guess, anyway, but just to debase yourself in such a way. And
He did an interview with a woman that admits drugging men and luring them to, her hotel room so she can rob them.
Yeah.
I mean, would you ever see like a man who admitted to doing that would get an interview with
To get an
Joe
interview with the
Biden or
president?
Kamala Harris? Nah,
Well, has Dylan Mulvaney done that?
not that they should.
Yes, thank you. Zero FUX says, and Lizzo playing that flute. Yes. Way to debase the flute. The historic flute. So
I didn't check the sales of Miller Lite. Did you see what? I haven't seen any articles see if Miller Lite has been affected sales. I don't know if those numbers are available because I think this came out a week ago.
yeah, the ads have been out for a little bit. They tried to bury it, and then Myth Informed dug it up and brought this attention to it. And I haven't seen any figures yet. I've just seen articles comparing it to Bud Light. Here's a headline: Miller Lite joins Bud Light in the Rights Doghouse after apologizing for ad campaign. Here, let's just put this up on the screen. I've got some more things to show you, though.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Oh, I want them to let me write a commercial so bad. It'd be
Your
so
commercials
easy.
would be authentically funny and original. You are a very funny dude. Okay. Miller Lite joins Bud Light in the Rights Doghouse after apologizing for ad campaign. The beer makers discover recipe for disaster with woke advertising. This is from the Washington Times, which is a right-leaning publication. Here we go. After the blow-up over Bud Light, the nation's beer drinkers were apparently in no mood for a self-flagellating Miller Lite ad campaign, apologizing for its history of scantily clad spokesmodels. The Molson Coors brand found itself caught in the Bud Light backlash after conservative podcaster Joe Rogan ripped a newly resurfaced video from March featuring feminist comedian Alana Glazer leading the Miller Lite anti-bikini reckoning. Quote, "From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing," Ms. Glazer says in the video. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. She herself, by the way, again, I'm not going to show you the images. You can go find them if you're very curious about Alana Glazer. There's lots of them. In Miller Lite's defense, the spot came out a month before Bud Light partnered with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, but the specter of America's iconic beer brands pandering to the left has both flummoxed and outraged right-holding America. Michael Seifert is mentioned in this article. I got to meet him at the Minds event last month here in Austin. He is the CEO of Public Square. I'm just saying this in case you guys don't know what Public Square is. Basically, it's an app where you can find liberty-loving businesses in your neighborhood. If you want to help build a parallel economy, go to Public Square. I do a little plug for this. I should see if I can interview this guy. The Public Square app hooks you up with liberty-minded businesses who are not woke if you want to support them. So anyway, here's a quote from him. Miller Lite, like Bud Light, chose to make a political statement instead of keeping their eye on the ball and providing a great product, said Michael Seifert, CEO of Public Square. This felt again like people were being lectured to rather than sold to. Yes, it did feel like a lecture, and consumers are tired of being lectured. That oblivious messaging may be bad for big beer, but it's been good for Mr. Seifert's company. He said his Public Square app, which directs consumers to non-woke brands, has jumped in popularity since Bud Light became an object lesson in the perils of politically correct advertising. Quote, we have a large network of consumers, hundreds of thousands that share their thoughts regularly on issues like this, and we have heard from many. He said, we have over 8,000 consumers who signed up just on that day after the Miller Lite ad went viral again, sharing things like, quote, we're just tired of the marketplace becoming so politicized over progressive ideas. Few products are more closely identified with traditional men than beer. Traditional men. We have so few of them, we have to call them traditional men.
Traditional men.
Their own you get your own category, Mr. Chris. How does it feel to be a traditional man?
Wow, I'm very excited. I hope that comes with some privileges.
I've heard you have many privileges, including the traditional spreading, the man spreading.
Mansplaining, man conditioning, or was it air conditioning for men or something? I don't know.
Man conditioning.
That's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it's like if it's like too cold or something, this affects women, or I don't know if men are trying to make, women see through their clothes, nipples or something. I don't know.
What?
Something dumb. It's all dumb.
I had not even heard this one yet.
Man blank. We can add that to our list of games.
This is just so funny. Traditional. Anyway, let me finish this. Few products are more closely identified with traditional men than beer, which may help explain why the Bud Light boycott has succeeded, where past calls for conservative boycotts of products like M&Ms and companies such as Target and Keurig have not. Bud Light sales have plunged since the company sent a personalized can to Mulvaney celebrating the TikTok celebrity's 365 days of girlhood. That's the other thing about Dylan Mulvaney. If you don't know, it's not just that he is a supposedly trans influencer. It's that he identifies as a girlhood. The whole thing is about being a girl. I don't know. It's a little questionable. Dropping nearly 25% year over year for the week ending May 13th, according to Bump Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ data cited by the New York Post. In addition, this is what you said, Anheuser-Busch has informed wholesalers that it will buy back unsold expired cases, according to the Wall Street Journal. Interestingly, Bud Light is not the first major beer company to partner with a transgender figure. In 2021, Michelob Ultra unveiled a $100 million 5-year campaign designed to, quote, increase the visibility of female athletes that showcase transgender track star CeCe Telfer. Hey, when you want to increase the visibility of female athletes, you do it by getting a man.
Yeah, patriarchy strikes again.
In 2019, Telfer became the first transgender athlete to win the NCAA women's title in the Division II track and field championships. Telfer was ruled ineligible to compete in the 2021 U.S. Olympic trials after the International Track and Field Authority lowered its testosterone threshold for women's events. Like Bud Light, Miller Lite has been ripped by major conservative media figures such as Fox News Channel host Jesse Waters, who dinged the beer for its, quote, anti-dude apology tour, and by podcaster Dave Rubin.
Surprised they used the term conservative and not right-wing.
You know why? Because this is a conservative-leaning paper.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason. So let me show you this, because as I said, Myth Informed, loves those guys. They're the ones who uncovered this. They also shared this corporate training video. Have you seen this one yet?
I don't know. Let's see.
Here. This is what they say about it. They've got a quote from the video, quote, "The role of diversity, equity, inclusion is the responsibility of all employees every single day." And then they say, "Here is Miller Lite's internal woke messaging for their employees. Either you support DEI or you can't work there." One thing they pointed out to me, the Myth Informed guys, is that the listen to the sad music in this. It's kind of like the Alanis Morissette pet commercial about the dogs in the animal shelter. Do you remember that commercial?
In the arms of an
Yes.
angel.
Yes, they're using sad music here because they're talking about sad things, like the fact there are too many white men who work for them. Here we go.
At Molson Coors, we know that diversity, equity, and inclusion matter. Diversity is a good thing because everyone is unique in their experiences, points of views, and the brands they identify with. Our point of view is that our employees need to be as diverse as our consumers, who are as diverse as our products. We believe an inclusive culture drives stronger engagement, and in turn,
Why are you laughing?
It's like, you must be inclusive or we will not include you.
Yeah.
We are inclusive of everyone.
You must be one of us. Inclusive. Inclusive.
Resistance is futile.
improves business performance. The role of diversity, equity, and inclusion is the responsibility of all employees every single
Isn't the responsibility of your employees every single day? Shouldn't it be doing their job?
Nah, that requires work.
Screw your job. Just DEI all the way.
We want to be known for being a place where all employees can thrive, fostering unmatched personal and professional growth, and developing exceptional leaders of people and business performance. We know that our actions should follow our words. As part of our 2021 to 2023 workforce strategy, we've challenged ourselves to increase our representation of professionals of color, both in the US and Canada. We're also committed to increasing the representation of women in our workplace to be reflective of the market where we work and live. And we expect to achieve $1 billion of spend with diverse suppliers in the Americas. Not only are we on track to achieve these goals, but we also recognize our success with some other objectives. We have provided education and dedicated training to all employees to increase their awareness and understanding of how diversity, equity, and inclusion are embedded into our culture. We have improved our talent acquisition strategy with an emphasis to attract, build, and engage a diverse workforce. And since 2020, we have maintained an annual $1.5 million investment in community organizations focused on social justice, equity, and empowerment.
Hey, Carrie,
As we look forward, Molson Coors
how
will
can
continue
I
to make
set up a Google
diversity-
alert that will show me whenever a Coors Light factory explodes?
Wait, don't say explodes on YouTube's.
In Minecraft. Explodes in Minecraft.
Let's be clear. This is all DEI all the time. By the way, this isn't the one I was looking for with the sad music. This is the one with the celebratory music because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
saying DEI all the time. And, this one is, we're on our way to being, we love DEI, you love DEI. Look at all we're doing for DEI. Aren't we the best? But there's another one I looked at. Let me see if I can find it.
They forgot to include LGBTQ people.
Here, this is the one I was thinking of. Wait, well, let's just finish this one because this is Miller Lite, and then the next one, the one I was thinking of, is Anheuser-Busch. They've got one of these too, and theirs is the sad one. Here we go. We'll finish this one.
equity, and inclusion, part of everything that we do, from how we work together to how we grow our company. We are excited in the role we are playing to unite people to unlock their unlimited potential. It is a worthy journey.
That's not real.
Join us.
There's the gay.
Oh, just throw them in at the end.
Yeah.
It's really sad too, because and once we get to some classic commercials, politically incorrect commercials from the past, Coors Light has a couple ones that were really good, and so it's very sad how much they've fallen. Like once you see it, it'll be amazing just the contrast.
Yeah. Once woke infects your company, it's not going to be great because now the number one priority of a woke missionary is to spread woke. That's it. It's more important than whatever your product is, whatever their job is. That VP of marketing that we saw at Bud Light, woke was more important to her than selling Bud Light.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it becomes the number one priority, as we see in these internal. You got too many woke people there now. This is the kind of crap they're forcing employees to do. This is what they're making their people sit around and watch in trainings.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they're inviting these Trojan horses in, and even if someone says a well-meaning person that wants to, embrace diversity and all that stuff, even if they end up learning that the DEI stuff is evil, it's awful, it might be too late at that point, because they might be afraid to fire certain people who are bad at their job, but they're afraid that the person's going to claim that they're fired because they're trans or they're black or white, and so they might not want to deal with that lawsuit. Even if they end up winning that lawsuit, it's still going to cost them money and be dragged out in court for a while.
So you know what ends up happening? Because the employers who become aware of this, here's the unfortunate, it's all a circle, right? Then they become less likely to want to hire people who fall into one of these protected classes, marginalized classes, because they know that person might allege, oh, it was because I was black that you got rid of me, even though it wasn't, or because I was gay, or because I was a woman. And so you're actually reinforcing bias because you're privileging some groups of people based on race and sex and sexuality. You're privileging them over others. You're setting people apart in different groups and treating them differently based on identity. And that's always going to come with terrible consequences.
Well, that's why I made that joke last week about how I wouldn't hire a black person with some stereotypical black name, because it's indicative of a ghetto culture, that their ghetto mother named them some awful name, and that this person's going to have an attitude and bring that to work that I just don't want to deal with. So I'm not going to deal with that. Sorry, change your name.
Would you change your name if you had a name that you thought was indicative of ghetto culture?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
maybe. So, nice white name, Jerry.
Stop it. Or just like a non, like, as you're saying, cracker or ghetto culture name. Look, don't think that the white cracker culture doesn't have a bunch of stripper names and made up names also. And also there was this period where white people started like naming all of their kids after places, which was really like,
what?
What's their name? Yeah, like my name's Dakota. Oh, okay.
Oh, like Dakota Fanning, yeah.
Or Montana. No one names their kid Detroit. Okay, so here, let me play this for you.
I can tell it's gonna be good.
This is the one I was thinking of. So this is another internal beer company corporate training video. And this one is Anheuser-Busch, responsible for the Bud Light stuff. And so here we can see that Mythinform says Anheuser-Busch is working to replace their white male employees. This is what DEI does. It divides your workforce based on race and promotes the woke victim mentality and provides zero value for your customers. Not just race, but sex. You'll hear them talk about women, and you'll hear them talk about, how they don't have enough women and they have too many men and they have too many white people.
Right through the process to the very end, and it needs to become a part of the brand's DNA.
You're still 40% women, 60%.
By the way, here's where the sad music starts because they're about to talk about how it's so sad they have too many white men working. But before the sad music, this lady,
Whoa. Is that an AI?
is it
This
just
doesn't look
me?
real. There's something off
It's
about
something
her
off. She actually reminds me of an old woke
doll.
boss of mine years ago. It's like her eyes are not. There's something weird in the eyes.
The whole face
my
looks
opinion.
fake, like a plastic doll or something.
I don't know. Okay, here we go.
You're still 40% women, 60% men, still predominantly
No.
white. So there's still work to be done.
Having a more diverse and inclusive environment will make us our company future-proof.
I would like to live in a world where diversity and inclusion is so ingrained in who we are, what we do, that we don't need to have a conversation about it.
Right through the process to the very end.
Yeah. So the sad music when they say we're still 40% women, 60% men. There again, you know what's got a crazier percentage than that? I think garbage collecting is like 98% men, 2% women. Where's that at? Right?
Yeah.
Like it's so sad. Women just can't break through the garbage ceiling. We're being held down by the patriarchy.
Oh, this is so bad.
Sorry. It's terrible. What did you think of that?
That was great. I love the editing. I love the foreigners. They were great lecturing Americans. That's cool. Yeah, it's a fantastic ad. It's like I said, it's just ridiculous that they keep expecting to hit these equity marks when they're just ignoring just culture and biology, particularly when it comes to the women thing. Because like you were mentioning earlier with a lot of people reacting against diversity, it's not diversity so much itself, it's people reacting to what they see as being propaganda. And so like I always talk about, Ghostbusters 2016 and how a lot of the media was trying to attack people saying that, oh, these people don't like that they're, women Ghostbusters. And it's like, well, first of all, the movie is garbage and unfunny. That's what a lot of people were reacting to. But on top of that, I think a lot of people were reacting to it being all women. Not that there were women Ghostbusters, but there were all women Ghostbusters. Because I think, this is my theory, that a lot of people look at things like that and then compare them to the closest roles that we have currently in society. Obviously, there's no Ghostbusters going around, Ghost and Bust, at least no serious ones. Like, I'm saying serious ones. They don't have proton packs. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's no people with proton packs going around busting ghosts and stuff. Because we have to, that is, I don't know, fireman or basically someone in a position where they have to run towards danger. And that's typically not a role that a lot of women want to, take on. And so I think people are comparing it to what we have in the real world. And if you're somebody who believes that there aren't more women in positions of power and authority because of discrimination, then I could almost understand why you embrace all the woke stuff and equity and all that. But if you're somebody like us who believes that the current distribution of genders, in various fields has more to do with biology and less to do with discrimination, then it becomes obvious that they're trying to program people, that they're trying to redefine the way people look at women in positions of power and authority, because they think that there's so much discrimination that they have to combat that with so much of this propaganda. And it turns people off to it.
But why doesn't it give them pause when you bring up stuff like garbage collectors? They don't ever go, why aren't we pushing for that? Because they're so easily say, well, that's because women don't want to do that. But they won't say that about STEM or about the fact that it's 60-40 in, at Anheuser-Busch, 60-40 men and women. They're like, it must be sexism was on the, but they don't, it never gives them pause that it's just about things that they view as enviable, white collar, lucrative jobs. That's where there's the patriarchy.
I mean, some of them are crazy. I mean, we know that. Some of them are somehow making sense of stuff that doesn't make sense, but other ones, they know the truth from reality, but they're grifters. They're trying to artificially propel themselves up the social hierarchy or, through the corporate ladder. And, it's basically a cheat code. If you give them a cheat code, many people will take that and they'll try to, do as much as they can with that, and they don't really care if it's unearned.
Yeah.
They're just terrible people.
Yeah, because they'll use con artists will use any belief system to their advantage. Just a couple of things from the chat. First of all, I see Megan for the new reviews is here. I mentioned at the top of the show, Megan, that I just finished an interview with you. Hello, you guys. Go check out her channel. You can click on her name there in the chat. That my interview with her, I've so enjoyed it. It's going to be out tomorrow at 6:00 Central Time, and appreciate you dropping in, lady. Thank you, Laura, for the super chat. $9.99. Laura, $9.99 says United Way just kicked off its 21-day equity challenge, and it showed up in my work email. I love trolling the program organizers by playing dumb and asking DEI questions that expose the hypocrisy. Laura, you're my kind of gal. I love that kind of stuff. It's really funny.
Yep.
I wonder what kind of questions you ask. It's kind of like Mystery Chris gets away with some of that stuff too. Like, just
except making fun of Black History Month, apparently.
yeah. And then he gets called into HR and dressed down for saying things that are offensive to Black people, even though you're like one of the only Black people.
Yeah, apparently you don't see color. Apparently they don't.
Beard. Sorry, I called you Bread. Oh my gosh. Beard in the chat says, "Do they not hear how racist they are?" No, they don't.
I don't think they care.
They don't
Many
care,
of them.
but the thing about woke is, I'll tell you, because I was woke for 20 years. Their brains have been messed with already. They've been the people who say this stuff without hearing how racist it is. The way they do that is because the word racist has already been redefined for them, and they've accepted the new definition. That's how they. Otherwise, it's like for people who have never been woke or not currently woke, when you hear it, you're like, wow, like how could you basically make a video about how you have too many of one race of people that work for you and not hear how racist that is? That's because they've been told it's impossible to be racist towards white people, that racism equals prejudice plus power. It's determined by what racial group you're in, whether you can be racist or not, or have racism directed at you or not. And they've done all those mental gymnastics and they've swallowed this bullshit definition. And so that's how they can say stuff like that and not hear it. It's crazy. One other quick comment from Fourth Greenery says, but Carrie, the Broad City chick, is not hot. So acting in a bikini is empowering for her. If she was hot, it would be demeaning. You're so right. Actually, you're actually right. Okay. Where should we go from here?
Oh no, there's so many.
I've got more ads
ads
about the Bud Light boycott, but I feel like we've spent so much time on it already. Let me just pull up one quick one with numbers that I'm not sure if you sent me this one or
I don't know which one this is.
Or if I just had it pulled up, but this is Investors Business Daily. Just to get a figure, look at this. Bud Light boycott has already cost Anheuser-Busch $15.7 billion.
Ay.
The market value of Anheuser-Busch InBev, whose fourth best-selling brand is Bud Light, dropped $15.7 billion since April 1st, based on a conversion to US dollars by Investors Business Daily. That's crazy. Meanwhile, the other major publicly traded global beer brands have added $3.2 billion in market value during the same time. So, for a while in the media there, Chris, they were trying to tell us this boycott's not doing anything. It's not going to have an impact. They're trying to get us to believe that. They are lying.
And I love it. Like I said, I was not expecting this. I did not think this is going to go on this long.
Yeah. You know who else lost a lot? Maybe we could jump back in time just a little bit to Gillette. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, I'm sure, I don't know how long you've been around, like paying attention to the woke stuff or not, but Gillette was the Bud Light a few years ago when they put out their toxic masculinity ad. And so here's an article about that. And at the time, I know this was a big deal. This is a piece from 2019. The headline is Get Woke, Go Broke. Gillette's toxic masculinity ad via Gray, New York haunts P&G as shaving giant takes an $8 billion write-down. Do you guys remember this advertisement? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it. And I put a link to the ad and essentially.
Let's just.
And I believe they did a couple of ads. There's one on the toxic masculinity, and then there's one where it was a father teaching his trans son how to shave.
I remember.
It's like,
again, overrepresentation. That's one of the things people are pissed about. They're pissed about, first of all, you're not talking about the ads. I mean, you're not talking about the product in your ads at all. You're selling ideology, not the product. And two, people are sick of this overrepresentation because it feels like propaganda.
Yep. Well, you might have to move because or unless you want to play the old one, but this one, let's see, where's the start? You can find it that way where the new one starts. So I guess yeah, about there, I think.
Okay, here we go.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it?
Again, by the way, just listen to the emotional manipulation. Listen to the music.
We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
Are you laughing at this toxic masculinity? I hear you giggling.
No.
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual
Oh,
assault.
I forgot she was in there.
And there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Wow, sweetie.
Come on. To say the right thing. To act the right
That's my
way.
favorite part.
Some already are.
Wait, what? What do you love that
Stupidest thing.
Whoa, don't try to assault that girl. Is that what you're about to assault? Well, you're going to assault her?
How dare you try
Some
to pick up
already
a
are. In ways big
Yo, men.
and small.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
It's not how we treat each other, okay?
Because the boys watching today
Here's a flower.
will be the men of tomorrow.
Kid's gonna grow up to be a school shooter. Great.
Where? Okay. I did a mock ad about this back in 2019 for Gillette women's razors, and at the end, one of the things I wanted to add, and we did add, was I was like, at the very end of the ad, buy our razors, because that's the funniest part to me, is that there's nothing in here about what you're selling. That's what woke ads are. Again, they are selling a belief system. They're not selling razors.
How did they even pitch this commercial internally? Like, I understand Gillette also sells to women, women who shave their legs and stuff, but like, how did they pitch this in terms of, trying to break into some untapped market? Like, there is no untapped market that this ad is going to bring in. Like
Yeah, it's just like the marketing director that we saw for Bud Light. They come in, they speak woke, and there's enough woke people who are already there that greenlight it, and that's it. It's when you get a certain threshold of woke, and it just, yes, like a virus. I saw people in the chat were saying like termites. Yes, they're like termites, and they come in and destroy whatever the purpose was of your company, your hobby group, your church, all of this becomes the most important purpose is selling the belief system.
But I don't understand how like it begins, because if you're in an environment where a lot of people are doing that, it's easier to go, well, all these other corporations have dedicated themselves to pursuing environmental, social, governance, ESG nonsense. But like the first ones before the woke stuff really got into full swing, it's like, how were they convinced to go along with all this?
It's just a slow boil, I think is the best way I can describe it. Because it's not big changes at first. It's like they start to speak the language slowly. And I was just talking about this with Megan in our interview. We are a product of our environment to a certain degree. There's that quote about like, we are an average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, kind of thing. And if you're in a company where people are slowly starting to pepper their language with these woke concepts about toxic masculinity, and everyone starts talking woke speak. It's a kind of new speak, but they all start speaking the woke lexicon. You will over time start to be like, this is the way, this is the dominant culture. You know what I mean? It becomes less of you get accustomed to it. So 2 years down the road, when your VP of marketing suggests some crazy woke ad, you've already had 2 years to get acclimated to hearing these phrases spoken all the time around you as if they're normal, and they're not normal. Does that kind of make sense? That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was trying to find, did you send me the one with the dad and the trans son?
Oh, I didn't send you that one. No.
Here, I think I found one. I know we have so much.
I know there's so many. Because I was coming across ads I didn't even know existed. Like, I found some IKEA ones. I didn't know IKEA had a bunch of woke ads. Awesome.
Okay, here we go. This is the other Gillette one. There might be some commentary on here, so we won't watch the whole thing.
Growing up, I was always trying to figure out what kind of man I wanted to become, and I'm still trying to figure out what kind of man that I want to become. I always knew I was different. I didn't know that there was a term for the type of person that I was. I went into my transition just wanting to be happy. I'm glad I'm at the point where I'm able to shave. South, south, north, north, east, west, never in a hurry. Right.
Warm. Now, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Shaving is about being confident. You're doing fine. You are doing fine.
And there's no Adam's apple to get in the way.
I just like want her to wash it off, and there's just a bunch of like bloody nicks. Like she's like going, good job.
You have such a weird comedy brain.
I'm at the point in my manhood where I'm actually happy. It's not just myself transitioning, it's everybody around me transitioning.
Okay, so I'll have to give it to them. This was woke. They were also using emotionally manipulative music. They were definitely selling ideology, but at least they showed a razor. Right?
Yeah, I guess give that.
So where should I go next? Keurig?
That one's not that woke.
Okay.
Let's see. You could do. I'm trying to think. Try the IKEA one. I can't remember what this one was. They're all terrible.
Great.
Oh yeah.
Here we go,
I have
guys.
to
We're
watch
going
these,
down
Carrie.
the
I want
rabbit
other people
hole
to
of
feel my pain.
woke ads. Here we go. This is IKEA. I haven't seen this one.
What if we could create a better everyday life for the many people? for the couples that turn into families, the children, the lovers, for the old ladies, the single mothers, and for those who need to start all over. What
No
if we
single
all
fathers?
the many by designing the price tag before anything?
What'd you say?
No single fathers? Just
They
just
did.
single mothers?
Yeah, they didn't mention single fathers. What?
Of course not. Nah, who cares about them?
By the way, you know what we should have done is if we could
Hmm.
have figured out how to black out the name of the ad, we could have played these and have people guess what the product is, since they're probably never going to tell you what is this an ad for. I don't know, cereal.
We could do that another time because there's so many of these ads.
Anything else? What if furniture could be better for nature, better for people? What if we could make furniture out of waste? What if old glass could get new life? What if we could collect all these bottles and turn them into something else? Like this chair. What if we could plant more trees than we use? And what if we could use wood in new ways so that this tree and all of these trees could grow to be just trees? What if we turn the tables on food and make meatballs without meat?
What?
What if we...
No. Now you've lost me.
Brought to you by Bill Gates and his Beyond Meat.
Brought to you by Crickets.
Turn the tables on tables and make screws that aren't screws. In fact, what if we lose the screws completely so we can put things up, take them down, and put them up again? What if we try to design new behaviors instead of new products? Better play instead of toys, and better sleep instead of beds.
No beds? Did I hear that right?
What if we sell no furniture at all and you still buy it?
Did you ever read that Forbes article by the World Economic Forum? They wrote a piece about like the year 2030, and part of what they were saying the WEF, envision for us plebes in the year 2030 is that we won't own anything at all. And they say, you won't own anything, you'll be happy. And they envision a future. Go read this Forbes piece. It's not satire. They envision a future in which we don't own even the space we live in, and they write this piece from the point of view of, it's a futuristic piece, someone in the future explaining what life is like. And they're like, yeah, it's great because in the daytime, where I sleep at night is used as like a conference room for a business. It's like, what? You don't have a bedroom. You don't have everything is used by other people. It's all communal, It just made me think of that when they said no beds, better sleep.
What if water taps could save water? And light bulbs could save light? What if all our stores could power themselves? And what if the best packaging is no packaging? What if we could make furniture out of air? What if we tried twice and failed twice? And what if we try again? What if we celebrate our differences? Because without each and every person, we wouldn't be complete. What if we never settled for an answer? What if we always ask ourselves, what if?
What if our furniture was easier to put together? I must admit, they probably scored a very high ESG rating based on that, because they got all that in there. They got the diversity, they got the gay couples, single mothers, they got climate change, sustainability stuff in it.
I think
they put everything in there.
Yeah, you're right. They touched on every single woke thing. Although I didn't see, they did get the DEI, but I didn't specifically see
Oh,
I
we're
was
gonna have to
expecting
dock them
to see
some
it.
points. Yeah.
Right. I was expecting at the end to see Dylan Mulvaney turn around. What is this Dove one? I don't think I've seen the Dove one either.
I don't remember. They all blend together.
Okay, let's
I think it's a
do.
feminist ad. The Dove one, I think
Oh,
specifically.
great.
Yeah.
I
Feminists are
started
being
a
left
group.
behind.
We're called Feminists Against Feminism, and everyone's welcome to join. I'm gonna make a t-shirt. Okay.
Is that a Kardashian?
I kind of like this one.
Why? Explain.
Explain? Because, well, they're right. I mean, I don't think this is feminist so much as like now if they had put something in here about the patriarchy or, tried to make this men's fault or something, but they're not. So I actually now as a commercial, do I like it? No. Tell me about your soap. Okay, you're Dove. I don't need to hear this from you, from my soap. I don't need my soap commercial to lecture me. I don't want to hear it from you. And you're just trying to virtue signal, and I don't like it. And I think that's gross. But this message, if it were coming from someone who weren't trying to sell me soap, I agree with it. I mean, a lot of the anxiety rates and depression rates that we've seen skyrocket with children, not just girls, but especially with girls, coincide with the proliferation of cell phones and social media and stuff. So I just don't need my soap commercial telling me this because they don't really care. They're just trying to use this to sell something like that. They're trying to virtue signal and, as you said, get a high ESG score. And I find that kind of pandering really condescending. Like, don't condescend to me, soap. Just tell me how bubbly you are and how good my skin's going to feel. Don't talk to me about this.
I know. What it just reminds me of like the typical critique of beauty magazines and attacking that, they're setting unrealistic expectations for beauty standards and stuff, which number one, I don't see a whole lot of evidence in the real world because there's a lot of women that are overweight who think that they're 10s on a scale of 1 to 10. So I don't think that's having as much effect as people think. But I also think a lot of those standards are coming from, other women and less from men. I don't think
I agree.
our men as demanding, oh, you have to look this way. Because
I
let's be honest, a lot of men will take what we can get.
Women, I think, are if we're going to, this is why, though, I didn't think they were putting a blame or a focus on the patriarchy or men. And if they had, that would have I would have been like, okay, this qualifies as woke now. But they didn't really put a blame on anything other than social media. But I agree with you. It tends to be women who are the cultural enforcers of, judging what other women look like. And that, in my experience.
And it is odd, too, that the ad is for, Dove, which is, for they're selling a product that's going to help your skin and all that. And so there's still some appeal to looking good with that product. And it just seems odd that they would, start blaming social media for being vapid, which it is, of course. But if it was like some other product that was just encouraging people to be themselves without something that's meant to enhance, their looks, for someone else to meet somebody other's standard of beauty, then maybe I could understand that. But to me, it's just kind of slightly contradicting itself.
I can see that. Well, it's good to have a difference of opinion.
How much Dove do you have?
I actually do have a bar of Dove right now, but I didn't buy it. My husband did. They're not marketing it.
His skin is great.
Him.
Yes.
He bought it because he cares about the self-esteem of little girls on social media. I'm kidding. Like, again, at the end of the day, the point is I don't want to hear any kind of lecturing of any kind, even if I agree with the message, from a brand who's trying to sell me something. I just don't. It's absolute. I wish we could get rid of this trend altogether. Go back to either telling me about the product, which would be very helpful, or at least just making me laugh.
Yes.
Like doing a silly, we used to do funny commercials that get your attention and you remember the ad, but you remember the product because you remember the ad and it was funny. And I'm fine with that too. But don't try to sell me any messaging or belief system with my soap or my cereal or my razors, or you know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think people would appreciate it if it was some of these apps were more self-deprecating in a sense. Like if a
Yes.
Kia made fun of, the stereotype of the furniture being hard to put together, that'd be funny. That'd be memorable. And I think a lot of people enjoy that, but they're so serious. They take themselves so serious that it's just a turn
They
off.
do. They take themselves so seriously, and I can't. I can't stomach that. Like, you're a can of Pepsi, right? Just speaking of,
All right.
should we
I don't know if we should
mute?
mute this or no. We might have to mute it because it's a popular song, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell what's going on.
We're muting it. Okay, this was another big woke ad at the time. Pepsi's Kendall Jenner commercial. And just imagine popular music, popular music, popular music. Join the conversation, says the signs. It's young people protest. They're part of the resistance. They're here on the side of Pepsi, guys. We're on the side of Pepsi and the resistance and McDonald's and Amazon and all
All
the
the
banks.
signs are Pepsi colors too. Did you know that?
Yeah, they're all Pepsi colors. We're on the side of big name celebrities who make lots of money because we're the resistance, and we're on the side of the banks and the pharmaceutical companies and the social media giants, the resistance. That's us.
Where are the overweight people?
Where are they?
This
This
fat
is
phobic.
fat shaming.
It'd be realistic. You
They
drink
did
Pepsi every day.
include a hijab
Yeah.
and a nose ring. We're protesting. Look at that.
Well, I'm sure she had no idea that was going to happen. Wow.
We're young people and we know the future.
Everyone's happy now. All the problems have been solved now that they've joined the larger social cause.
Yeah.
Black people are dancing.
Black
Look how
people
happy
are
black people are.
dancing. There's a celebrity here. What are the people doing? They're protesting.
How can I make a name for myself off this? Wait, what?
She takes her wig off because she's one of the people now. And she's got a Pepsi.
Uh-oh, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do?
Oh my gosh, it's those evil bad cops. Defund these guys.
What's this? Pepsi? Oh yeah, that's realistic. Yeah, I'm just gonna drink some random Pepsi that was given to you by a
By the way, this
protester that
isn't
hates you.
realistic because we've all seen these protests in real life. First of all, they'd all be wearing black masks. It'd be a lot angrier. They'd be throwing Molotov cocktails at the police.
It'd be funny they were throwing Pepsi cans that were like rags and then they're on fire.
They'd be setting all those businesses on fire.
Well, what's interesting about this ad, do you remember the pushback to this ad? This one actually angered a lot of activists and Black Lives Matter people. And apparently, I'm sure you've heard this term, but they call it woke washing.
Yes.
So what's interesting is that a lot of these woke activists, a lot of them are astute enough to understand when certain companies are producing ads that aren't in line with the values or are not in line with things that they've been doing for years. That just seems like they're trying to join in on a trend.
Yes.
And so they will reject it on that grounds alone.
Yeah.
But nothing else. Yeah. And so it's just go ahead.
It's when they recognize some of them. I actually don't mind when they criticize woke washing because to me it means that at least they're doing some small amount of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't notice it at all, those people freak me out more. I like the leftists, the woke people who are like, hey, this is woke washing. You're just trying to use our ideology to sell something. Yes, they are. They are.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. Excuse me, I have a bug in my throat. Not a real bug. The ones who don't see that though, and I remember several years ago when I first started noticing woke move into ads was at one of the Super Bowls, and this was probably around 2016 or 17. It's been a while now. And I remember that year on social media, I saw several friends. I was still thoroughly in the woke echo chamber, and I saw several friends sharing some of these Procter and Gamble commercials, and they were saying things like, "Wow, I never expected a commercial to make me cry. Good work, Procter and Gamble." It was an ad. Who knows what it was about? I'm gonna see if I can find that one. Who knows what that ad was about? Because what they were selling was the social justice narrative about racism. That's all anybody remembers about that ad. And what struck me at the time was I remember being like, "We're on the left. Like, this is a major corporation. Why are you sharing their ad for them? Like, they just got you to share their ad by saying some woke shit." And now, so those people who don't notice the woke washing, those people frighten me more. I'm down with the ones who are, at least recognizing it and saying they don't like this because they feel like Pepsi's using them. Yeah, Pepsi is using you. They're all using you, and you just happen to notice it a small bit of the time, right?
Yeah, this just seems so odd because many of these people are super critical against corporations, many to the point of just hating capitalism itself. But as long as they slap a LGBTQ flag
Yes.
on their logo on Twitter or Black Lives Matter, many of them will just ignore that, and they won't be as ravenous towards these giant corporations, which, according to their own ideology, what these people believe are still exploiting workers.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had a friend years ago who she boycotted, I think it was Chick-fil-A, because I think Chick-fil-A CEO or somebody had donated to some anti-abortion group or something, and she decided not to eat any Chick-fil-A. Not that I think she was eating much Chick-fil-A to begin with, but what I wanted to bring up to her was that, you're doing this because it's easy. It's easy to give up, Chick-fil-A, particularly something that you weren't eating before. But if you were to look into so many of these other corporations, you would find numerous things that are boycott worthy, like Apple. Apple having,
Yeah.
sweatshops in China that are so bad that they have to put up suicide nets on the
Yeah.
top of the buildings to catch people who are trying to commit suicide. But giving up Apple products, that's a major thing that
No, and
many
they're not
people
willing to
don't
do
want to
that.
live without. And so it's a lot easier to go after these smaller companies that's just easy to give something up with. But something major that person's life is really entwined with, well, a lot of people aren't willing to do away with that.
No, not at all. Do you remember that viral image from a year or two ago of it was some Antifa adjacent looking woke girl? It's not Antifa, but Antifa adjacent. She was sitting in an airport and she was dressed kind of punk, and she was on an Apple computer, and then she had a big sticker on it that said capitalism sucks. You remember that?
No.
And it just said everything. She's like, I think she maybe even had a cup of coffee, or maybe I'm imagining that part as I remember it, because that would have made it even better. Like, start no, but she definitely was on an Apple laptop with this sticker that said capitalism sucks.
Well, that was like I saw some video recently of some black activists on some college campus telling white people to leave the room because this was a black space. And I was thinking, like, wait a minute. So you're claiming the space that was designed by white people, built by whites and Hispanics, as a black space. Like, now you want to evict all white people in a space that you had nothing to do with, you and your people, which are my
Yeah.
people too. I mean, it's so stupid.
Can I show you this one? I found the one I was thinking of from 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I think this is when I first started, around the time I first started to notice. No, it was a little bit earlier than this, but this was around roughly around the time. I think this is from, so the video upload might have commentary in it, the one that I found, and it was uploaded 5 years ago, but I think the ad is a little older than that. Here we go. Do you guys remember this one? Tell me if you remember this one. Now, whoever uploaded this has added this stuff on top, the typing, advertising with strong messages. That's not in the original ad. But look what they say about it. This is similar to what my friend said about it when they shared it. This person who uploaded it typed out, American moms teach their kids how to stand up to racism in Procter and Gamble's, except they misspelled it, Protect and Gamble. Procter and Gamble's heartrending film.
Who said that?
The lady at the store.
That is not a compliment.
Listen, it's an ugly, nasty word, and you are going to hear it. Nothing I can do about that. But you are not going to let that word hurt you. You hear me?
Oh gosh. Too much commentary.
What is this person doing?
Too much commentary. Anyway, so this person just added some. Go ahead.
Well, again, with the moms and missing dads, which I have to at least give credit to the Gillette ones. Like, at least there are some dads in there, even though they're feminized. But
this one has, it's all moms, right?
Yep.
Let's see if I can find it without that.
Oh, without the stupid, like, I'm not sure why this person thought it was a good idea.
Oh, here it is. Extended version. Okay, so it is from 2017. Here, we'll get rid of that version. And this is roundabout when I think it really first started to bleed into advertisements. Woke started to bleed into advertisements in a big way.
Oh, no.
And it was called The Talk. That's what this...
Who said that?
The lady at the store.
That is not a compliment.
Now it is.
It's an ugly, nasty word, and you are going to hear it. Nothing I can do about that. But you are not going to let that word hurt you. You hear me?
You're going to put it in a song.
There are some people who think you don't deserve the same privileges just because of what you look like. It's not fair. It's not.
I love her hair, actually.
Remember, you can do anything they can. Difference is you got to work twice as hard and be twice as smart. Come straight from it.
Why are we teaching this message? They're trying to send the same message to girls and to Black children and to Black girls. And they're trying to teach this idea that you have to work twice as hard and be twice as smart. And that may have been true in the 50s. But they're trying to teach kids this is what it's like in 2023, that everyone hates you and there's this terrible discrimination out there and I don't think that's good for the psychology of children.
Right.
Are you still there? Did you not?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I knocked something off my desk. Sorry.
You got your ID? Guess I stopped it.
How's your review?
We're good.
You good?
Yeah,
You see?
we're good.
Okay. Good. Now, when you get pulled over,
I'm a good driver. Okay.
baby,
Don't worry.
this is not about you getting a ticket. This is about you not coming home.
Wow.
I'm gonna be okay.
You know what else is selling? Beer. Beer. And they're selling racial divide.
Even though, like, the number of Black people being shot for cops isn't very much, if you look at that number, it's pretty much all men. There's very few women, Black women, who are getting shot by police.
They're also cherry picking stories to make people, kind of like they do with mass shootings, to make people have a disproportionate idea of, of how often it happens and to create this mass fear and paranoia in people.
Yeah, it's like less than 20 unarmed, I should say, Blacks being shot by police every year.
Individuals. Less than 20. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
It's not fair. But you keep showing up.
You are not pretty for a black girl. You are beautiful, period.
I hope
Okay.
Medea shows up.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, this is so pandering.
Isn't
This
this
is embarrassing. If
terrible?
any black people follow this, they.
Okay, you know who really loved this ad? White woke ladies. Ding,
I'm
ding,
not
ding. If you
surprised.
guessed that. Yeah, so somebody in the chat, a couple people, Fourth Greenery says, what is this about? What are they selling? Exactly. They're selling beer,
Racism.
racism, a narrative. And then did you hear that really emotional, manipulative music? So I had woke friends sharing this, and they were like, literally in tears from this thank you, Procter and Gamble.
Cut out all the parts where the black mom's beating the black children. Just
Stop. Let me just hit a couple of chats real quick. I know we have a lot more to get through, but Chris Holm, Skinny Chad Sumak, thank you for the super chat, sir. $5. He says, most of these ads present the most absurd scenarios to make their points that'll never happen in real life. It's what they think reality is. Yes.
Yeah. It's like that Gillette one where you had the men standing around. Boys will be boys. Like, who says that? I've never heard any man say, boys will be boys, while two boys are beating the crap out of one another.
I may have heard it, but not enough for it to be a common thing. Claudia Pimentel, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Hello, pretty lady. She says, I missed you on Toxic Femme on Monday. I missed you guys. My aunt was visiting. I had family in from out of town, and we went to the Alamo. We had to go to the Alamo. So my husband and I took her, and it was a lot of fun. But I'll be back there if you guys watch that show, it's on Midnight's Edge. And I have so much fun hanging out with the ladies and Tom. I'll be back there this coming Monday. Okay, cool. Let's power through some more woke stuff so we can listen to some funny stuff before it gets too late. What's another woke one we have to hit that's like,
do you want to watch the gay truck ad?
yes.
Okay. You might have to mute it halfway. I don't know if the songs pop. It's hard to tell. I don't know
Is that the Ford truck one?
Yes.
Oh,
the first
God.
one. Yeah.
I already see the new flag. By the way, I hate this new flag. Almost every gay and trans person I know hates this flag. It's ridiculous. It keeps getting crazier, and you would think it's satire at this point, but it's not. I actually, speaking of woke ads and woke companies, I was in Michael's a couple days ago, and they have, Michael's is always putting out new stuff for whatever the holiday is, like new decorations, new flowers, new whatever the holiday is right up front. And now they've got all the gay June stuff up, and they have this flag. They don't have any of the old school rainbow flags. They have this stupid flag with the triangle eating the rainbow flag.
I thought this was a joke, like this screen here with the rating progress. I seriously thought that was a joke. But it's like they're just parroting themselves at this point.
Parroting
You don't
themselves.
realize.
Yeah. Progress. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. I love whoever titled this video, Ford's Very Gay Raptor Redefines Tough for a New Generation.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is that their title?
Yeah, I think it's on their website. I think.
What?
Or their account, I should say. Just mute it just in case.
Ah! So now they play gay music. Oh, they're like winking at each other.
Uh-oh, what's gonna happen?
What's
gonna
gonna
happen?
happen? There's a rainbow mist.
But what?
Uh,
This one's
oh,
still
that
dirty.
truck's
What's gonna
flying hard to get.
happen? Whoa!
Oh, rainbow colors. So he came out.
It's okay.
It's super gay, guys. Buy our trucks.
Introducing the first truck run on semen.
Oh no. Progress. Redefining truth. Okay.
Bring up that second one, not to show that video. I just want you to see the title of this video, with the Ford truck short video. Just show the title. You don't have to play any of the video.
Why? I kind of want to play it now.
It's not that interesting.
The title of this one is World's Strongest Gay beats Ford's Very Gay Raptor. These are their titles.
This is real.
These are their titles. I thought somebody else was titling.
No, is this on their account?
They're calling it the Very Gay Raptor.
This is real. Are they making fun of LGBTQ?
Redefining tough. The world's strongest gay.
The title, the world's strongest gay.
When I was 17 years old, I became the world's strongest gay.
Is there a competition for the world's strongest gay?
This is an ad about him coming out, and he woke up one day and decided to come out and buy this truck. You guys, buy this truck. What kind of features does this truck have? It's gay. But is it four-wheel drive? It's a gay truck.
Does it have glitter interiors?
Why should I buy your truck? Because it's gay.
I have one more gay ad. Can you play that North Face Pride ad?
Oh, great.
I don't even know that North Face had ads. They do, and they're gay.
I'm telling you, when I see the feminist ones, like that Miller Lite one, the ones pandering to women, it makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to barf. It's sickening. It feels condescending, and it makes me a little angry. I wonder, is that how based gay people feel when they see ads like this? Or they're like, stop it.
Yes.
Is that how you feel about the racism ones?
Yes. It's
enough.
But just knowing that there are people, not just white, but black people that fall for that pandering. Just like when you did the fake MLK, where the guy was doing the MLK inflection. And it's like, there are people that buy into that. Like, he's like mocking black people, but I think people are like, oh no, what he said is really deep. It's not.
It's not. Should I put the volume on this one?
I don't think there is music in this one. Or I guess it was
Nature
music,
lets you
but
be
whatever.
who you are.
Bad music. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are cordially invited to the Summer of Pride with my friends at the North Face. We're traveling all the gay across America.
Again, it's people are tired of the misrepresented, the over-representation. That's when it starts to venture into propaganda. And it's like they don't get this. They're just like all gay, all trans, all drag all the time now. Well,
it's weird. We're about to enter like gay month, but it's really been a gay year, basically, because it's like never goes away. This is all year long. And then I guess June is extra gay.
It's the pride keeps getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Thank you for the big super chat, David. Thank you so much for the $50. He says, "Hi, Carrie. Any plans to simulcast to Rumble and or have alternative ways to support your work? Because I hate giving money to YouTube and will never use Patreon." Got to watch the Amiri King Silverado video. Very apropos to that Ford video, by the way. Well, thank you so much for supporting me. You know what? I forgot to mention at the top of the show. I should always mention it. Currently, you can, if you want to support Deprogrammed, if you want to support what we do here, and you don't want to give money to YouTube or Patreon, we have a Subscribe Star. I think they're the best in terms of not interfering with people's content, or the best, what do you call it, where you can have people who subscribe and support your channel or whatever kind of content you're putting out. They don't interfere. They don't ban people or censor people that I know of. They haven't done that yet. So Subscribe Star, and all those links are at the top at the banner here on YouTube. So if you want to support that way, you can do it. Also, I do have currently, all of the videos are going up to Rumble, but they're not simulcasting live. And I do have plans to do that eventually. My problem right now is, and maybe if somebody in the chat knows how to fix this, let me know. I'm sorry to get technical in this episode. Rumble has like a personal profile and then channel profiles. And I've been talking with Comics Division about this too, because I can't quite figure it out. And he's got a similar issue. All of my videos are going on my personal profile, and we're trying to get it sorted with the channel. But once I get the channel sorted and everything's on the channel, we're going to try and do some videos that are just on Rumble, or we're going to try and do Rumble, do YouTube, and then go over to Rumble afterwards, like other channels do, where we can say whatever we want and have like an extended thing on Rumble. But yeah. But in answer to your questions, to support, you don't have to use Patreon or YouTube. You can use Subscribe Star or Locals. We also have those two links. So thank you so much, though. Thank you for, I'm sorry you had to give a little bit of money to Susan, or Susan's no longer there. Who's there now at YouTube?
I think she's still there. Witchski, whatever her name is.
Robert, you seem to know how to do the Rumble stuff. Message me after this, because I want to talk to you. Okay. Let's gay it up some more. By the way, again, not knowing your audience, right? That's what the Bud Light thing and the Miller Lite thing was about. Isn't North Face for like the extremely granola, crunchy hiking people? Isn't that what that is? This company? Yes. I'm looking it up right now. I know North Face. I've bought some of their stuff. Their website, made for going wild, camping. It's all about camping. Nobody's wearing this kind of outfit out in the woods. No one. Just who do you think is buying your stuff?
America, and everyone's invited. That means you.
Oh, well, also look at the dirty joke here. And there's a kid in this ad, and the dirty joke is, I just now got it. Sorry, I'm slow sometimes. His dress is the tent. So you're supposed to go under, down there in the tent. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the tent, is you get down between his legs there in the tent dress. I just got it. Okay. Is there a kid in this ad? I think so.
That means you. Me. And you.
Hello.
Oh, no. It's kids' voices on a tree.
And you.
Wow.
Not you, though. You're too cute. Okay, just kidding. You can come. Put on your boots and come out. Side with us. See you there, besties. Don't you think this is all a little intense? I mean, look at you. You're in a literal tent right now. But no, this event will not be intense. Everyone is invited. Everyone is welcome. It's going to be so fun.
There we go. Yep. Kind of don't have any words.
No.
Kevin Anderson, how does this sell outdoor gear? That's the big question. Yeah. Okay. What can we? I know we have so many woke ads we didn't get through. We could do a part 2 of this, honestly, and have a lot of fun making fun of this crap. Can we watch some old classic ads?
Sure. If you go down to the section classic ads, pick that Fritos 70s ad.
Oh, yeah, the Frito Bandito.
Yeah. This guy's great.
You would never see this today. I bet you if you find Frito Bandito stuff on eBay, it's a pretty penny. I don't know, just guessing.
You have to skip and then they put this title here. Yeah, we got it.
Hello, senor. I am the Frito Bandito. Oh, don't be afraid. I am not going to steal your Fritos corn. I buy them from
That's
you.
your job.
Okay? See, I give you silver. No silver? Okay, I give you gold. You don't like gold neither? Maybe you like better some lead, huh?
Citizens, protect yourselves. Never buy one bag of crunchy Fritos corn chips. Always buy two and hide one for you. Who knows? There may be a Frito Bandito in your house.
Oh no.
Oh,
So
I miss
innocent.
stereotyping days. It was good
So
times.
innocent and silly.
Pull up the polyglass one. This one is awesome. It's from the 1970s. Well, and there's no way in hell they could get away with this ad.
I
No way in
noticed
hell.
that whoever uploaded this titled it the most sexist ad of all time.
Oh, just wait.
Depending on how you drive and your car's condition, you can get incredible mileage from the Goodyear Custom Wide Tread Polyglass tire.
I've got 32,000 miles on my tires.
I've got 41,000 miles on my Polyglass. But Polyglass means more than mileage when your wife has to drive alone.
Wait a minute. Wait, is it because she's a bad driver?
Yes, she's a woman.
When a woman's at the wheel, Polyglass means more than mileage.
Yeah. She knew her place. Yeah.
Oh man.
Good
That
times.
no, you could never see that today because people would be so mad. They'd be like, they couldn't just let it roll off the back. They'd be like, "How dare you, sir? I am the best driver, although I have been in several accidents." Anthony and I talk about we laugh about this a lot because I told him I'm a professional driver. If you need a professional, call me. And I've been in the past year, and there's that story about how I put the van inside a car wash that it was too big for. Just peel the top of the van off like an old anchovy tin. And yeah,
Don't
and then
get mad at me. I'm a woman.
I need those Goodyear. What was that? For when a woman's driving.
All right. Let's get to some beer ads. Pick up our play the Bud Light ad
90s one
from the 90s. Yep. Back when they had balls. And these are one of the exploitation ads that Broad City lady doesn't like.
Exploitation. Oh no. I remember this.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
Face that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make the Bud Light.
Oh no, it's Ted from accounting.
Oh, they could never do that today.
Nope.
They could never, because you can't make fun of this at all. Nobody would ever consider this to be funny that a man would dress as a woman and get into a ladies' night.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago.
Now men just dress up as women to win Olympic medals. Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
bring up the first Coors Light one. And this again, one of the ads you can't do. It's not as egregious as the other one, but this first stupid Coors Light.
It's rocking your bro on the dance floor, but she's towing an anchor, a junior investment banker who's talking about herself and not much more. Oh, oh. So buy her a beer, it's a reason to hear. Mighty wingman, you're taking one for the team, so your buddy can live the dream. Wingman.
They would say that was so sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's true.
But it's true. Which other one?
Bring up the second one.
The okay.
Coors
Not
Light.
that one.
Yeah. It's just the second Coors
Wins?
Light. Yeah, bring up that one. I don't even remember which one this was, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Again, to think of how much they've fallen. So sad.
I love football on TV, shots of Gina Lee, hanging with my friends and twins. I love burritos at 4 a.m., parties that never end, dogs that love cats, and twins, and I love you too.
So they with toxic masculinity, right?
It's so effective. That's all you gotta do. So some beer. Some guys having a good time, hot chicks. But no.
You know, in that marketing, that beer marketing lady, the woke lady, Allison, whatever, and she was saying, it's all the ads are so fratty. They're so fratty. Weren't you and I talking about this once before? We were saying, but yeah, that's your audience. That's your customer base.
Yeah.
Because your beer tastes like crap and it's cheap and mostly it's frat boys who buy it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, why do you hate the giant segment? Like, how is it computing your mind that sales would still remain high? You're going after the main base of your product. That makes no sense.
Right. Okay.
Let's play one more Coors Light one. The third one.
Oh, from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
We're going back to the 80s, guys.
Good old 80s.
It's the right beer in the summertime when a barbecue is what's on your mind. Don't you chowing down, don't sit around. The silver bullet. It's the right beer now. The good life beer.
Puberty ladies in bikinis.
So come on in the Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
But look how happy everybody was. It's just a happy commercial. I'm happy watching it. Like, what happened?
Somebody said something earlier. I think I started. I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. Errol Merton says commercials have long been about what the product is supposed to make you feel like, right? It's aspirational. Like you see that and you're like, I want to be just hanging out with friends at a pool and enjoying myself in the summer. It makes me feel good, right?
Yeah, part of a lifestyle. Yep.
Right. But then Errol continues, now products are supposed to make you feel virtuous, though. Like a good person. That's a good point.
By reiterating things that society already accepted long ago, that racism is bad.
Right. We already know this. Manuel, hey, I'm sorry I just saw this. Hello, Manuel. Okay. Which one should we do now? Should we do one of the funny ones?
Yeah, let's move to funny. Play the McDonald's parody ad. This is a parody I thought was funny.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I just randomly found this one. This one's good.
My dog is crying to come inside the room, so I'm gonna. But I haven't seen this. Okay. Let me watch it and then I'll get him.
Hey guys, it's me, McDonald's. The other day, George Floyd was arrested to death by a few bad apples. But you shouldn't let that spoil your appetite for our freshly baked hot apple pie. And with the promo code, I can't breathe.
No!
It doesn't matter if you're black, white, or miscellaneous, because at McDonald's, the only color we see is green.
Green.
And that's why we're donating money. How much, you ask? $1 million. Whoa! That's over 1.5% of the revenue we make in a single day. That's 25 minutes of sales. Yep. That's how much we care about our community. The McDonald's community. With members like George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, and John Coffey. They were one of us. And we here at McDonald's are going to stand up for you people and say Black Lives Matter. And you can take that to the bank, because we sure did. This message is brought to you by the Ronald McDonald Opportunist Department. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, free marketing.
Yeah, there we go.
Where did you find that?
I just found it. Yeah. It's hilarious.
It's so funny.
I just love the transition. He was arrested to death, and then I was like, don't let that kill your appetite for our news.
Ow, my stomach hurts.
Good.
Ooh, Travis says I'm gonna lose some friends over this one. People who have been offended by this don't get the joke. Okay, the butt of the joke are corporations like McDonald's. The butt of the joke is McDonald's. The butt of the joke is woke brand. Whatever the woke brand is, that's the butt of the. That's what's funny. There are some people who just don't. I don't know. They don't have a sense of humor, or they don't understand sometimes who the butt of a joke is. Like they don't get it. It's like, but you can't mention this or this. Yeah, I can. But you understand who we're laughing at here? It's McDonald's. It's woke brands.
Right. It's like Dave Chappelle's humor, or Eddie Murphy back in the day. Like a lot of times when Chappelle, like when he did the Clayton Bigsby skit on Chappelle's show, the Black Klansman is blind, and he's saying all these racist things, but they're so over top that he's making fun of racism. He's not actually reinforcing or condoning the KKK or anything that they espouse. It's clearly, making fun of them, and this video is clearly making fun of the insincerity of these other woke corporations, how much they don't actually care about what they're saying. It's just about money.
Oh, and they put the names in there. Likes to say their names. Okay. I'm gonna give me just 1 second.
Oh.
You sing some hold music while I let Tiger in there. He's outside the room and he really wants in. Right.
He wants some Duff beer. Now, this is one of my favorite moments from The Simpsons. I always do this impression of John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon. Duff beer, which actually is a real beer, I believe. Never had it, but someday I will. Oh, Tiger missed out on all the fun.
Okay, thanks for being patient. Sorry, guys. This is my little dog. If you're new here, his name is Tiger, and he doesn't like it when he gets locked out of the room. He wants to be in here for the show. Okay.
Yeah, I have 3 Simpsons clips because they're all beer related, and
We're proud of all of our Duff commercials, but here's a very special one from 1960. Well, I would suggest, Mr. Van Oker, that if you knew the president, that was probably just a facetious remark.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
I would like to take this opportunity to express my fondness for Duff beer.
I'd also like to express my fondness for that particular beer.
The man never drank a Duff in his life.
That's funny. Remember when I think it was John Kerry was running against W, and the press at the time, seemed totally in the bag for W, in my opinion. And was it Newsweek or Time magazine ran a picture of a leaf of arugula, and it said arugula versus, and there was a picture of a mug of beer. And it was saying, who do you want for president? The guy who eats arugula or the guy you could drink a beer with, W?
I remember that. Do you remember when Elizabeth Warren did her little TikTok video of her drinking beer?
Yes.
Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm just drinking beer. I love this this beer, Shinner.
Shinner. It wasn't forced at all. It didn't seem staged at all.
Bring up the second Simpsons one. This is another Duff beer.
It's sexism. Down with sexism.
Look at all those feminists.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
All right.
I wish that was real.
How old is that clip?
Oh, it's got to be almost 30 years, probably.
Really?
Almost, yeah. Probably mid-90s, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think they would do that today.
Nope.
W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Won't you come and play with me?
Flawless.
We also would have accepted, tell me what you think of me.
Oh, I guess you're free to...
Give him the breathalyzer!
Huh? You're under arrest.
Think you can get this car home?
Sure thing, giant beer!
Oh, no! Oh, mother of mercy! Hey, this is kind of fun! Whee!
Why does he explode? Why does that happen?
You're so silly. Okay. Should we play our game?
Let's do it.
Well, actually, somebody in the chat was asking for the Wood Milk commercial. Have you seen this?
The what one?
Wood Milk?
Oh, is that tree milk? The fake one with Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah, it's with Aubrey Plaza.
I've seen that.
Should we watch that?
Sure.
We can just watch a part of it. So I didn't understand what this was at first. And then by the end, it's like, whoa, I actually think this is... Well, let's see what you guys think of it. I like this a lot.
This was something that pissed off a lot of activists, apparently.
It did?
When aren't they pissed off, to be fair, though?
So a lot of woke people were pissed off by this?
Yeah.
She's so funny. If you don't know her, she was in Parks and Rec, right?
Okay. Dang, I never watched the show.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Plaza. You know me as an actress, but I'm also the co-founder of Wood Milk, the world's first and only milk made from wood. Wood Milk started with a simple idea. I saw a tree and I asked myself, can I drink this? As it turns out, the answer is yes. If you make it into milk. Here at Wood Milk Orchards, we grow our trees the old-fashioned way, right out of the ground. And we're certain our eco-friendly, artisanal, free-range wood milk will be the only milk you'll want to drink for the rest of your life. Why? Because you're thirsty. And because you want it. Because you want that wood as your milk. Our wood milk is bottled right here in the forest, which locks in the flavors like oak, cherry, maple, and of course, mahogany. And if you can't pick your favorite, that's okay, because they all taste like wood. Now let's take a look at how wood milk is born. Not born, exactly. More like squished into a slime that's legal to sell. If a tree falls in the forest, can you make milk out of it? Now it's time to enjoy the fruits of our efforts. Not fruits, wood.
Therese, wood milk is maple syrup, dummy.
Got wood. Is wood milk real? Absolutely not. Only real milk is real. Then what did I invest in?
And what is this an ad for? It's a Got Milk ad. It's about real milk. No wonder they hate it. It's not
Yeah,
any
it was-
kind of nut milk or, what are all the different things they're using? Coconuts and almonds. And I used to drink that, so I don't drink any of that stuff
Uh-huh.
anymore. My housemate, my friend Tina, who's a bodybuilder and nutritionist,
Mhm.
you've met her. She was the one who got me and Anthony off of soy milk and all the nut
Oh,
milks and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, she was like, that stuff is not actually good for you. I know there will be people in the chat who don't agree and are like, try my oat milk. It's great. I did used to like oat milk. But she pointed out some of the ingredients that were just like, is that chalk? Like,
Oh, I've heard that before. People saying that some ingredients that was chalk or something like that.
And I started thinking about, I don't know, just in general, going back to just nature, to more natural, I don't use margarine or any of that stuff. I just use butter and I just drink milk. And if I can get it, raw milk. I know
Oh
where
yeah,
they
I've always wanted to have raw milk.
it's great. So anyway, it seems like the woke would be more inclined to like all of the fake stuff, right? So of course they hate this ad. Is that what they were complaining about? That it was for real milk?
Yeah, for real milk, and kind of making fun of alternative milks and stuff like that. Yep.
One of the funniest memes I've ever seen here. Let's pull up the game, and then I'll see if I can find this meme to show you. So
right.
at the end of the show, we usually play a game called "Is There a Tattoo of That?" And we look to see what ridiculous things that are related to our night's topic people have tattooed on themselves. And so Mystery Chris has compiled some of these. Is there a tattoo of Budweiser? Why, yes.
How many people you think were drunk on Budweiser when they got these tattoos?
Why would you do this? It's a company. Look at that guy on the back of his head.
It's free advertising. Like, are they paying you at all? Of course not.
This is almost like I don't know, like the people who got the vaccine tattoos, I thought were crazy. But this is, it's a corporation.
Just get a barcode already. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There's a lot of tattoos for this episode. I was like, I narrowed that down.
Here we go. Is there a Coors Light tattoo? Why, yes. There's also a Coors Light.
With the mullets. Is that from an ad? I don't remember a Coors one with a mullet. It must be
It
from an
must
ad.
be, 'cause they
Some
all have
people
the
it.
mullet on the
Yeah.
Coors Light can. What is that from in the chat? If you're a Coors Light fan, tell us.
It's like Joe Dirt.
It does look like Joe Dirt. There's another one with the
The stomach one.
oh my
Six
gosh,
pack.
six
Get it?
on his-
Womp womp.
Oh gosh, he's like, I've just given up. The Coors Light. Look, there's a couple. They have the Coors Light Mountains.
What?
At least that's more artistic than just the can of beer.
Did they meet while drunk on Coors?
I don't get it. Okay.
There's more.
What? No. Talk about, like, don't these guys use sweatshop labor? People have Nike tattooed on it. Look at this guy.
Look
Has
at
a
that
pair of-
one.
Which one? That one?
The feet, where he gets the shoe tattooed on his feet.
Just look at that terrible back one. That looks homemade.
It does. Maybe it's a prison tattoo.
And then look at this guy with the shoe on his face. There's two people with Nike shoes on their face.
Why?
Do not date.
Yeah, it must be easier to weed these people out on dating sites. Like, oh, you got a face tattoo next.
Oh my gosh. there's another person who got Nikes tattooed on their feet. I'm sorry, I'm just a little speechless.
Oh, wait till you see the next one.
I guess, the people who get like IPs of stuff that they like, like we saw some people who had Gone with the Wind tattoos, or people that get actors they like, or I guess things related to music or movies or some kind of art. I guess I get that a little bit more. I do get that a little bit more than company. I don't get having a corporate tattoo.
Yeah, a product that, it's not emotionally moving, which I guess the woke stuff is trying to get people to associate some kind of emotion with their products, but I don't think that's sticking.
IKEA tattoos?
Yes.
No.
This is the one I was shocked by the most.
Look at this. Someone's got a table. Someone's got the IKEA brand logo on their arm.
Like, what? I never would have thought about IKEA. Like some of the other ones, like Nike, I was like, yeah, of course someone's going to have Nike tattoos. But IKEA? Seriously?
Here's an IKEA bed tattooed on an arm, an IKEA desk lamp. Here's a IKEA boy.
IKEA leg tattoos.
Oh my, what's wrong with these people?
Okay. Couple more. This next one shouldn't be too surprised, but there's so many of this one that was like, oh. This is one of our corporate overlords.
Corporate devil, McDonald's. Here he is.
Like the receipt tattoo.
No. This guy has a McDonald's receipt tattooed on him. It's just a receipt.
What did he get? What does it say? Can you read it?
Oh man. Let's see. I just opened another link. It says he got the receipt from his first tattoo tattooed on his arm. He got a McDonald's receipt tattooed on his arm and became internet famous for his bad decision. The tattoo, not the fact that he paid $6 for a cheeseburger from McDonald's. Because he's in Norway. It costs more to go to McDonald's. Okay, so then he ended up getting the receipt for the tattoo tattooed on him also on his other arm.
Oh, this guy's awesome.
Okay. This guy's crawhich
One more.
Wait a minute, because there was one other on there that is just as weird.
Which one? What's that?
Look at this back guy. This guy looks like the Avatar guy. His whole entire back. I mean, it's nicely done. It's well done. I'll give that. The colors are great. They're popping. But his whole back, his whole body is different McDonald's characters and a scenery. It's like the Avatar guy.
It's just weird because like these characters are strictly for like kids. It's not like something that both kids and adults tend to really like. This is just solely for kids. It just seems weird to devote your entire back or any part of your body really to these goofy cartoon characters for kids. A little creepy, if you ask.
It is a little creepy. It's just weird. Davina says he looks like McDonald's Yakuza.
Yeah.
And then look, Happy Meals. I mean, all kinds of. What is that? Oh, that's gross. That's gross.
How you feeling about humanity right now?
Not very good.
You can bring up the last one.
Okay, at least this is funny.
Yes.
If you're gonna have a tattoo of a beer brand, it should be Duff beer because it's not real.
Well, I was saying while you're gone, there is an actual Duff beer. I
There
mean,
is?
it's probably just some other beer they repackaged as Duff, but you can't find it some places.
Wow, people. I mean, if you're gonna have one, I think Duff is the coolest one to have. The others just like, why are you a walking billboard for this corporation? It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. Bright Space Babe says, I wait all week
Oh.
just to hear Chris laugh.
Oh, making a black man blush. Stop.
It is. You have a great laugh. Okay. I've enjoyed laughing with you tonight. And
Yeah, it was fun. It was depressing and happy and then depressing and happy. It was a roller coaster. It's good stuff.
Let me see if I can find this meme to share with you right before we go, because I told you I would try to find it. Oh, here it is.
What is it going to be?
I don't know if you've seen this, but since we were talking about the woke not liking that wood milk commercial because it's for real milk, and I guess they think it was a slight at fake milks. This meme makes me laugh. I don't know why I think it's so funny. Maybe it's because of the picture they have of God. But can you guys see this? Here's the meme. There's look at the picture of Jesus going like, what? And it says, God, what are they doing down there? Angel, they're making milk from almonds. God, what? I gave them like 8 animals to get milk from. Angel, they don't like that milk. God. It's so silly.
Got a point.
Anyway, good point. What are they doing down there? They're making milk from wood. What? But I gave them like 8 animals. They don't like it. They're gonna make their own.
So true.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir, for another fun evening.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you to everyone in chat.
Derpnator also says you have a great laugh. You and Drunk 3PO.
Oh.
And let's see if did I miss any super chats? I don't think so. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for the super chats. If you I should mention this up top every time, but if you like the show and you want to support us, you can do so at Patreon, local subscribe star here at YouTube. And we answered a question mid-show, but we are going to try to do some exclusive stuff on Rumble at some point. I just have to get my channel sorted. Robert's maybe going to help me with that. Thank you, Robert. I volunteered you. And tomorrow, Thursday at 6:00 Central, I've got an interview coming out with Megan from Noob Reviews, Megan Lee. She is delightful. We talk about homeschooling, faith, pop culture, just a whole range of things. Autism. She works with autistic children, and it's just she's a lovely person. I had a great conversation. So that's tomorrow at 6. And the Alex Stein video. I haven't seen it yet. We'll have to save it. We'll do it next week, I promise. I know it'll be old news by then, but we'll watch it and have a laugh. Okay. Thank you guys. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Woohoo! Have a good evening. We have to come up with a signature ending, like one of those newscasters, like "Thank you" and "Good night."
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We'll think of something.
We'll think of something. That should be the end every time. We'll think of something.